What's up, guys? Dirty Mike with Dirty Mike Crypto back with another video. I am very pleased to have my friends from DeFi Kings on with us tonight. We got the whole team here. We got Mike, we got Chris and Marty. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
Doing great, man.
Awesome.
How you doing?
Awesome.
Doing good.
Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I know since the last time, we've spoken, there's a lot of new things that you guys have been working on. Before we kind of, focused when you guys were just, pre-launched and when you guys launched your token. But, you guys seem to have shifted directions a little bit since the last time. And you have a lot of new stuff that, you kind of sent me. So I wanted to, focus on that tonight, if that's okay.
Absolutely, Mike.
Awesome. Well, let's kind of start with we've covered about your token and in the past, but I think a lot of your new stuff that you have is on your gaming side. So I'd like to hear about your stuff that you have going on with your gaming and what's different.
Yeah, for sure, Mike. So, first and foremost, we're starting off with, as a company, as a business, we have our short term and our long term goals. And so, short term, Marty has developed some games that involve interactive NFTs. Really interesting games, man. I mean, really fun to play. We've built out a server, so we'll have these games that'll be on a server.
Okay.
Uh, we have the ability to take them out and go mobile, put them on a mobile store, whatever we choose to do. I think first and foremost, we're going to get them onto our platform, which will be DFK Social. We'll have them out on there. The very first that's going to drop is MDR, man, Meta Dog Racing. That's going to go on to biglottery.io. That actually is going to be a really cool feature within that site itself. It's kind of self-contained there. It works on a point system. Of course, you've got to earn points. You can bet points on the dog racing. You can play on some slots. You can do all these different things, but it's all built into the big lottery site. That's going to be the first release that we have dropping. I'm sure you've seen some of the headers and different
I
things
have.
around. So it's going to be a really in-depth game. Starting off, we're going to be racing dogs. There's going to be the ability to boost your dogs, in-app purchases. You'll be able to train the dogs. There's going to be a lot of features that are going to build into that game, but we want to go one step at a time. So initially, the concept is we have scratchers. Okay, so the scratchers, people can come in, they can scratch for free. They'll earn points as they're scratching. Those points will actually be able to be used within our platform. They could also take those points and purchase items, kind of like going to Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
Kid, that kind of thing. There will be
Let's go back for a second, Mike. When you say scratchers, why don't you elaborate what that actually is? Just for people who may not be familiar, are they like a lottery type of ticket that you can purchase, or you said you could do it for free?
yeah, they're actually instant scratchers. So it's just
Okay.
like what you would buy in your lottery tickets. Those are there as a form of advertisement. We have some partners who have purchased some tickets. As people are playing those, and you play and you're earning points, and so those points can be utilized and spent on our platform. You can also bet during the dog racing. You'll be able to bet for the other users' points. You'll be able to host races, which will earn you a certain percentage of those points. Yeah, I mean it's really in depth, man. I can't really cover it in the short amount of time that we have,
Right.
but I can tell you that it's super cool. It's interactive NFTs. The NFTs you can purchase in our whitelist, our pre-sale for 25. I believe, Marty, correct me if I'm wrong. The price after pre-sale will be at 30, so they're very affordable. It's basically your player in the race. So your dog that you can run with, you'll be able to upgrade. You'll be able to do all these features.
That's
Um,
great. That
yeah.
sounds really cool format. Now, let me ask you about the NFTs. Do all the attributes of the dogs start off pretty similar, or are there like maybe rarer additions that you may get lucky and get? Is the okay? In other words, is the NFT you purchase? Do you know what you're getting ahead of time, or is there some sort of random chance to it that you may get a rare one that's already a little bit further along than just like a standard one?
It's all 100% rare. I'll kind of let Marty touch on that since Marty is developing all of the NFTs. But it's definitely randomized. Marty, you want to take that one, bud?
Yeah, everything is pretty much 100% randomized. The attributes are all they're within a certain starting range, but
Right.
for the most part, they're randomly generated, so that the dogs have different attributes, and then you pretty much upgrade them from there. The more you upgrade them, the more points is required to do the next upgrade. So it kind of adds like a the more you upgrade it, the steeper the upgrade curve,
Very
to
cool.
kind of prevent people from like maxing out
Now,
all of their stat points
are
and
the
having like
scratchers the
the
only way
ultimate
that you
dog.
can upgrade the dogs, or are there going to be other means to get attributes for them?
So the scratchers are just there for you to scratch and earn points. Our entire point system is a free point system. You can't buy any points in the
Okay.
game. Uh, Everything is 100% free. The dog racing is free. It's just if you want to own one of the 1,000 dogs that we're putting out there, those are $25. But if you just want to bet with your points on the side that you've earned from playing like our other free games, then
Okay.
you're perfectly fine to do that and earn some more points betting on dog races.
Okay, that was my main question. Was the scratchers the only way to earn points? But you had answered that question that your other games you also can use those points for that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's exciting. Now let me ask you, how far out are we from this? Being a reality.
So we've pretty much got the whole beta version live right now. We've done a lot of beta testing on the back end with the team. Everything's working. We're about to do our pre-sale starting next week, I believe. So is that right, Mike? We're doing a pre-sale next week.
Yep.
We're going to be doing some whitelisting uh,
Yeah.
all
Yep.
up until
That's
then.
correct.
Yeah, we're working with another YouTuber actually that does like gaming YouTube, and he's going to be doing some soft launch stuff for us, pretty much for the pre-sale. And then after the pre-sale, we're going to do a straight hard launch and then launch the game. So probably about 2.5 weeks out from game launch, going live.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, it definitely sounds like a fun thing. Now, there's been some other online games, casinos, racing kind of things that I've, had some, contact with. What kind of makes yours different that makes it a little more long term? Because, if, unfortunately, some of those other ones I saw kind of, went under kind of quick, or there wasn't really that much of a, much excitement for it after like the initial launch. It sounds like this one's a little bit more in depth. What kind of things do you have going on like after launch?
You want to go ahead and cover that, Mike?
Sure. Yeah. So I think first and foremost, Mike, the fact that we are not tying a token to this is
Right.
is crucial. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there's no risk of loss per se. We have multiple upgrades that will be coming along the way within this game. As I told you before, initially we're going to start off and we're racing. I mean, we have the ability to create the training feature, to create the treats that you can give the dog to boost them for short periods of time.
Cool.
There's even been some talk about breeding. So when you start talking about breeding NFTs and having puppies and maintaining these puppies, I mean,
That's
there's
wild.
yeah, there Marty is very in depth at what he does, dude. And so what you will see initially will be the ability to come in there and race. Now we also are working on a private feature. So basically I can set a race and I can keep it private and I can reach out to all these guys and say, hey, 6 of you, let's get in here and let's run our dogs. And as grown adults, as long as everybody's 18, man, we can do the little I don't want to even say the word, but we can put friendly wagers out there, so to speak, Mike. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you can customize your races, you can do that kind of thing. I think long term, what's going to do it is just Marty's ability to continue to evolve and just grow the games. I mean, we've seen it firsthand. Marty's got a hard drive of multiple games. I'm talking probably 20 plus. And so we could roll these out into one big ball. We're choosing to kind of do it strategically, roll things out, make sure things are functioning, working.
Yeah.
Uh, once the NFTs roll out, I will tell people, anyone who hears this recording, that you'll definitely want to grab one the instant they're live, because they will go quick. And so, we want everyone who wants one to be able to get one, but at the same time, we want the down the road to be able to do more with the NFTs that are purchased. So I think that's the big key to most of these games. A lot of times a game comes out, it's just, there's your game, have fun with it. It gets boring, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, Marty will grow the game within the game. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's really in depth what he does. It's fun to be a part of. This will be the first release. We'll have some others that if we get to it, we'll talk a little bit about. But yeah, I mean, you've seen some of the trailers, some of
I
the
have.
beta tests, and the games that are playing, and yeah, it's remarkable to see what he can do with the gaming side of things, man. So it keeps us fired up, pumped up. Obviously, it's something to engage with your community in the times when the market's down. Most of the guys that we're reaching right now, mind you, are going to be crypto projects, teams, lounges, that kind of thing. Long term, we have greater aspirations than playing in the small pool of crypto. So, we want to be that real world gaming company. And so initially, this will be the couple launches that you will see around in this space. We will go, full fledged and out into the real world with some really cool games. I mean, Marty has some really cool things, and we do have to keep a lot of things close to our chest, Mike, because people are waiting out there to just snipe those ideas. So,
Yeah, yeah, I got you. Because I was gonna ask you kind of next, what your plans are to, bridge that gap from, the crypto world to out into the, real gaming community. But that might be something that, like you said, you're kind of trying to keep close to your chest, not
well,
reveal
it's
right now. But
yeah. Well, honestly, there's two different aspects to what we do, right? So, the first one will be big lottery, which is kind of geared, to the crypto space, and then obviously to people that are within TG and that kind of thing. We have another release that will come out that will involve some interactive NFTs, but the game building beyond that won't be. It'll be more of a leaderboard style, be
yeah,
real world type of gaming. It really won't be tied to NFTs, that kind of thing. I mean, Marty's talents are such, man, that we can't tie his hands and keep him in this space and remain selfish like that. It's like, yeah, it's time to take the business and go worldwide with it and get it out to everybody.
all right, so let's that's a good explanation. Thank you. Let's circle back just for a half second. I don't want to go too far backwards, but there's going to be a limited number of NFTs of the dogs. I think you mentioned the number 1,000. Is that a fixed number that you won't be able to create? Like, let's say you get the first 1,000 out, and there's a very big need for more. More people want to get in. Is that something that you can mint more NFTs of dogs, or is that 1,000 going to be like a firm fixed amount?
The initial set will be 1,000, and then we're going to open up the breeding, and then from there, anyone that wants to get dogs, I have to get one from a breeder. Breeders obviously pay an additional mint cost for each time they want to breed, and they'll probably get X amount of dogs in return. We haven't fully set that number in stone yet on how many dogs we're going to give for the breeding process per mint. But
It's such a unique concept. Like, I've heard of staking NFTs and stuff like that, but I've never heard of breeding NFTs. I think, that's just such a cool idea. Who came up with that one?
it was I think we kind of all just came up with the idea around the same time while we were sitting there talking about the idea, and someone said, "Wouldn't it be cool if we breed them?" And we all started coming up with different little ideas and concepts and stuff that we could do in the chat. So
That's awesome. It's interesting. It's not your run of the mill like kind of NFT game that you've heard that we've kind of heard of before. This is something that is pretty unique. As far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't want to go too far in the future because you kind of given a lot of information here. But where do you go after that as far as game wise?
Honestly, after that, Mike, we have one more that I'm sure you've seen the trailer. to the NFT Boxing Kings.
Yes, I have seen that, and I thought that was really cool.
That's coming. So that's going to be right on the heels of MDR. That's something that we can actually reach out and work within a lot of other crypto projects to bring mascots in, to bring their characters, get them into the game. One thing we're finding now is that we would like projects that can fulfill their deal. So, basically we would be able to say, hey, we're going to give you a collection of 500 NFTs. If you can pre-mint these, we're going to be able to institute your character into our game, which is good advertising for them. Makes it the space even more fun. There's more characters within the game, but that will be the following release to MDR. Beyond that, we're actually looking at some big time gaming options. So we're probably going to hold off on more releases in this space and start to gear things and to kind of crank things up and get out into the real world. So, we're looking at Kickstarter, a lot of things that normal gaming builders do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's kind of the direction that we would like to take it. Of course, it's a lot of what we do is, you evolve as you go. And so I know Marty is ready. Marty's games are great quality. There's really no reason to kind of limit him and hold him in this little space when we can get out there and put out some massive games and really start to change the space. I mean, we basically have the ability to do full console builds, customized builds, blockchain builds. Marty can do it all. And so, that's kind of the level that we want to take this to. Why stay small when it's time to grow and grow your business? And again, we are DFK Gaming is a fully registered business in the U.S., man, state of Florida. So just like our token, we're trying to do things the right way, and we really don't want to. We don't want to tie Marty's hands. We want this to get out to the world. We've played and seen these games, and it's just it's something that we really believe that we need to take to the next level. So I really think that MDR is going to be great. The NFT Boxing Kings is going to be phenomenal. That's going to be something where everyone's going to want their character in, but of course we're going to have to pick and choose the projects that can come in and can help us with what we're doing, spread the word, get the players, get the user base. But at the same time, we want to partner up with those projects. We don't want the projects that, they can't sell enough characters. We don't see the benefit in, getting five characters or 5 users from your project. If you can come in and sell NFTs, we're going to be open to listen and trying to set a deal that works for everybody. But yeah, sky's the limit, man. There's really nothing that can slow this down. I mean, Marty is just phenomenal at what he does.
Do you guys see this as an opportunity to, once you have your platform, really cranking and going, that you could be the go-to for other projects that want to, set up their own and build their own type of NFT games, and maybe even take that a step further, being almost like a metaverse where you can house their different corners of their games inside your universe? I don't know if that's something you guys have talked about or not, because that's kind of initially what I thought about it and kind of put some pieces together from some of the stuff that you guys said.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, Mike, because there is some talks and some plans and some things that are happening behind the scenes. That's obviously, we don't want to dive in too deep because, like
Right.
I said, we've got people that are waiting to snipe. But yeah, DFK Social at some point will be a full world, full interactive world.
Awesome.
And we'll be able to incorporate these builds that we do for other projects. We'll be able to have all these games within the space and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what I thought when you started, mentioning that and all. I was just like, man, that would be a cool, kind of like an end game kind of thing of where to go
absolutely.
with it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's social too. So, we're walking around with avatars. You can talk to other people. I could say, hey, man, hey, Mike, let's go get in the ring. And you go over and jump in the boxing game, take your avatar, boom, you're in there, you're fighting. I mean, there's just the sky's the limit, like I said, man. So, but it's one step at a time, right? So, we don't want to confuse people. So we're going to kind of bring these games out. We'll drop them one at a time. We'll do a little marketing. we'll get geared up for that game, and then we move to the next phase and the next phase. But initially, the plan is to drop MDR on biglottery.io, and then from there we'll talk as a team and decide, okay, it's time to roll out our boxing game, because like I said, these games are just sitting there ready to go. And
Yeah.
so Marty tweaks and builds a little bit here and there, and he'll update before we drop something fully. But yeah, these games are playable and cool as hell and ready to go, man.
I was just kind of thinking of while you guys were talking about some stuff, and I'm sure I thought I've heard of maybe a project or two over the years that have tried to do this, but I haven't really successfully seen almost like a social media for crypto to like really interact with each other. And I know maybe that's what the metaverse is supposed to be, but it just really kind of hasn't taken off that way yet. I really haven't seen that, too much, like a way for really like, people to like really truly interact with other projects aside from, just joining their Telegram groups and kind of just, going through those channels.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is basically containing everything within our server.
Yeah.
And so, in essence, it's not a metaverse, per se. It's probably, I would liken it to more of a Martyverse.
A Martyverse.
This is something that Marty has in his head and is ready to develop. And then when it's time, we'll drop it and it'll just blow everyone's mind. But same type of concept. I mean, realistically, if we're in this space, there's a lot of crypto projects. We'll be bringing them in. They'll be able to fully customize avatars, to their likeness. So there's the ability for us to make money, for them to make money, but at the same time, it's non-tokenized, right? So there's really no risk of loss other than coming in and you'll see, maybe storefronts that will advertise for other projects. Maybe you could go in and buy certain items that will customize your avatars from these other projects. So it's just going to be a unique space, man. And mind you, this is a while off, Mike. This takes time to develop.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but initially, man, that's kind of what we were looking at within this space. Just kind of maximize the ability to bring people together to have fun.
Well, that's awesome, and I love everything I've heard so far. I want to circle back to kind of some stuff from the past that you may need to change as a result of this. What's the plan with your token? With your coin, where are you guys at with that right now? And, where do you see yourself, kind of going with that? Because I know, like you said, you're trying to, make some of this stuff available to, people outside of the crypto community. But, for the time being, you are in the crypto space. Where are you at as far as that, goes?
Well, this will be the best time for me to hand you over to Chris and let Chris kind of take the token side of things.
Yeah, Chris, you've been quiet. Let's hear what you got.
He's been working a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah, I've been wondering when you're going to break the silence, Mike. No, I'm good. Yeah, the token, just because the gaming is not tokenized, it doesn't mean that the token itself is gone, or we have, obviously with the way that the market has gone in the last year, we're coming up on June 13th is a year from launch for DeFi Kings, the token. And obviously with what's happened in the market, the projects that are still around or will continue to be around have had to make some decisions and do some pivoting and things like that. Everybody's learned a lot, and they're going to continue to learn. I mean, at this point, the crypto market is it's really
stagnant.
uncertain.
It's just it just seems like it's completely stagnant. We had the crash at the end of the year, but it kind of went up a little bit from that, but it just kind of seems like it's just bottomed out. And I mean, I don't hear a whole lot of crypto talk like I used to from a lot of sources, not even just social, just news outlets and sources. You'll hear Bitcoin occasionally and stuff, but it just doesn't seem like it gets the type of coverage like it used to. The only thing you've heard is like FTX crash and Celsius and all that stuff. But I don't want to think people lost interest in crypto, but it just kind of seems stagnant right now.
Well, and I think that the biggest thing is not that crypto's ever had any certainty involved in it, because
Right.
it's always been a high risk type of a space, but you could somewhat predict how certain things would go. And at this point, there's just so much uncertainty that I think that there's a lot of people that are scared.
Yeah.
And that goes with failures, that goes with regulation, it goes with legal. I mean, there's so many different things involved in it that, I think that there's a lot of people kind of sitting back, watching what's going on and waiting to see what's going to happen. The issue is for the projects that are already out, you have two choices. One, you pack it up and you call it good, or you try and innovate and do your pivoting to be sustainable in this model. And the great thing about DeFi Kings is, we came into this with a business mindset. This wasn't
Right.
some hype token. This wasn't a pump and dump or anything like that. And so our plan, our ultimate goal has never changed. How we're getting there is different.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the gaming thing is obviously, it's not tokenized because it's not solely owned by DeFi Kings, but we have two businesses. And so, DeFi Kings LLC is the owner of the token, and DFK Gaming is its own entity essentially.
Yeah, so
But
these are two separate entities. That's what I want to get across to anybody
these are
listening. They're
the,
two separate things.
they're two entities, but DeFi Kings LLC, which owns the token, owns 50% of DFK Gaming.
Okay.
So it's, even though it's two separate companies, the token itself will still benefit with our profit sharing model. Of course, who knows how long it's going to take for the gaming side of things to make money. But in the background, we're still working on other things for the token to produce income for the business that, again, gets shared with our holders that choose to stake their tokens. And so, we have launched quite a few things, mostly crypto related. Our biggest goal was to get outside of crypto. So what we're working on right now is several micro businesses that actually market products and services to the real world. I'm not going to dive too deep into that yet because they haven't launched. We're probably a month to 2 months away from launching them. But these are going to be where we see the real world coming in, not necessarily buying the token or even knowing about the token. These are actual businesses we're setting up that will make money from real products and services. And so, everything we're doing on the DFK or, the token side of things is still moving forward. Our holders are going to benefit. Beyond that, we have gotten into some trading to where, everybody's heard about trading bots and things like that going
Right.
on for, quite some time. And there's several projects that have been launched specifically on that. Without going into too much detail, we are doing something similar, but not the same. And
Are you talking like arbitrage or something different?
yeah. Well, it's actually a mixture of a whole bunch of different types of trading, and it's not specifically in crypto.
Okay.
And because we've been ripped off by quite a few of our ideas already, I'm not really gonna explain how it works or anything, but we've been doing some testing over the last few months. Actually, about the last 3 or 4 months, we took some project money because, again, like from the beginning, Mike and I haven't taken any money out of this business because our goal is to grow it to be substantial, not try and take a couple bucks here and there. So
Yeah.
the money that we have as a project that we've put in personally, and obviously other people have put in, we are very careful with those funds. And so almost a year into this, we still had money, and we still have money.
That's
And
what I
so we
wanted
took
to ask you. Almost a year in, how far are you up or down from your launch price as far as your token goes?
Token price right now, we are sitting at, I haven't looked at it today, but the last time I checked it out, we're not chart, like we don't stare at the chart all the time, but the last time I looked was probably 4 or 5 days ago, And at that point, we were sitting around 3.5 times, 3.5 times of launch price up.
Well, that's great. I mean, you
Yeah.
survived, huge crashes and huge, crippling things that, took out a lot of the industry. So the fact that you've not only been able to, survive, but thrive in that time definitely is a testament to, your business model and, how you've kind of operated things. So
Yeah. Well, we've got some.
congratulations. I mean, if whether or not you look for that or not, you do deserve a congratulations.
Yeah, and we definitely appreciate it because we've watched what's happened over the last year, and you know 90% probably, of what you would
Yeah.
consider to be similar to us are gone.
Yeah.
But we have a base of just hardcore, loyal DFK OGs is what we call them, VIPs, and these guys they understand the long term vision of what we're doing, and they didn't buy in, to 2x their money. They
Right.
bought in to see some, long term success in and seeing some, good passive income. And
Yeah.
so that's why, I mean, we've got such a strong base. I mean, we're still, I think the last time I checked, just on our staking, uh, if you look at total of tokens owned, so you take out what's in liquidity because those can't be staked anyway, but total of tokens owned the last time I checked was staked over 90%. I mean, that's just crazy.
It is.
But
It is. I want to ask you guys a question unrelated to your project, just with the crypto community as a whole. I've been guilty of this, myself. That's why I'm kind of rebranding myself a little bit. I took a good bit of time off from crypto. Kind of look back at some of the old things I used to do, and most of these companies are out of business. A couple of them were rug pulls, and just it made me feel disgusted with myself, working, with these, projects, these shit coins and meme projects. Do you feel like meme tokens and coins have any place in the crypto community, or do you feel like they're actually hurting the legitimacy of this, moving to the next level as far as like the whole crypto space?
yeah, I'll take that first, and then I'll pass it to Mike. But my response would be is I hate those kind of tokens
Yeah,
for a couple of reasons. Number one, they devalue the legitimacy of real
they do.
businesses that are trying to do this,
Agreed.
and trying to be successful in this space. And number two, what they do is they impede the growth of a essentially a new industry, right, or a new marketplace, being crypto. And if we're ever going to get to the point where people take it seriously, we have to get rid of these clowns who come out and produce this garbage, whether or not it's a meme token that has no value and no usage whatsoever, or the rug pull people. And obviously with the anonymous nature of crypto, that's hard to do. But something has to be done. I'm not all for like the massive regulation that we're probably going to end up seeing. But at the same time, I mean, for basically what it's doing is, the bad guys are screwing over the good guys is what it
You
comes
know,
down to.
that plus, I think it's like the 80-20 rule. I think that 80% of the publicity that crypto gets is of these shit coins. And when they only make up a small percentage of the actual amount invested, I think I looked at it the other night. I think the number was, I think it was like it was only like 6 or 7% of the crypto market is meme coins, but it seems like they get a lot more coverage in the media and stuff than just that little small percentage that they actually really truly have, which makes people believe that it's a lot more prevalent than it is.
Well, and what it all comes down to is hype.
Yeah.
And there's no value in these tokens or projects or scams or whatever you want to call them. It's all about, does somebody believe enough that they can throw $100 in something or whatever that number is,
Yep.
and make more money out of it. And so that's why these things, you'll see them go up in price. They do most of the time do pretty well in their marketing, but at the end of the day they have no value, so they're not sustainable. And then once that hype is gone, I mean, you and I both know. I mean, I've been in so many things in the last year that have just completely collapsed.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I was able to get out of some, without losing my shirt too much, but others I got killed on. And it's all because of emotion. People buy on emotion. That's what it is. So either you have something that solves a problem for them, and they choose to buy it because they need it, or in this instance, in these investments, it's all based on emotion and
You're
greed.
exactly right. You're
Greed is what
exactly
it
right.
is.
And, I feel like these devs create these projects, then create the community, start all this hype over it. And then once it skies out, then they're the ones that are cashing out right there, making their money. And then everything just plummets down. So they're the ones making the money. It's almost like a little personal, scheme that they're doing.
Well, and it's easy to do because if
It
you want to
is.
go launch a token, with a $50,000 market cap, or, shoot, some of these have done a much higher market cap that end up rugging, or they're just, terrible projects or whatever. You got to remember that those devs are taking a portion of whatever they're bringing in private and pre-sales.
Yep.
And they don't have to do anything with the money
Absolutely. Yeah.
except put it in their pocket.
Yeah, and that's definitely what's hurting the industry right now because I think we almost have to get through this whole wave of the exchanges collapsing and dealing with what to do with exchanges from that point forward, and then how to deal with the people like you're talking about. Ultimately, I think it's on the launch pads to bear some responsibility for these projects that they're just letting. Come on without, I know there are some good ones out there like Novation and, some other ones that are, more selective with the type of projects that they launch to make sure, they're working with, credible projects. But, any of the pink sale ones and all that, any Joe Schmo I can create a token in 5 minutes,
Yep. And I think that's going to be something I think we're going to see change over the years is,
Yeah.
pink sale is not going to last forever. I can guarantee, I would probably say with 99.9% certainty, because at some point people are going to understand that either one, the crypto market is just going to be a joke, or for it to move to be a serious business model, things have to change. And I think it's going to go in that direction because there's so much good technology involved, just with the blockchain and everything like that.
There is.
And so you're going to see these launch pads like Novation grow. But what's got to happen is we got to see a market start to turn a little bit. And,
Yeah.
these smaller good launch pads are going to need to get a little bit more mainstream adoption. And that's going to end up killing Pink Sale, because if Pink Sale is going to continue to allow these clowns to come on and rug people left and right, their whole business model is a temporary business model. That is not a long-term model. And so, they're going to cash in what they're going to cash in now. But if they don't change, if I was running Pink Sale, I would be changing my model right now, because they already have, and it's not a true first to market advantage, but they're the big one right now, right?
They are.
So they have the option to make the change and be the leader. Whether or not they do it is up to them, but their model right now is not sustainable.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. And, until people start making changes, I don't see it, moving forward. And I hate to think that it's going to take government interference to, kind of start to push this, forward, because that's definitely not what I'm about. And, it's obviously not what DeFi is all about. But, you know, I just don't see, if you just allow everybody on their vices to, just kind of keep operating the way that they are, if it can possibly change.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is you can keep the privacy of DeFi intact and
Hmm.
still put things in place to verify these devs and project owners. It's one thing to not dox yourself to a community or whatever, but hey, if you're going to have the privilege of launching a token where you can potentially screw people over, then you know what? I personally don't have a problem with at least having to provide legitimate documentation to the
Yeah.
companies that is going to offer you the ability to launch that token.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I was watching one of CoffeeZilla's interviews with Joe Rogan the other night, and they were talking about the shit that goes on in crypto with all the promises that are made and white papers, and then they're just completely just abandoned and just pull their money and sell it like shit that if they did that in the business world, they'd be thrown in jail.
Oh yeah. And that's why they're doing it, because they're they've got private personalities, and nobody knows who they are. And unfortunately, when you have technology that allows that to happen, the scumbags are going to take advantage of it.
Not even just that, but there's nobody to hold them accountable is the real thing. I
Right.
mean, in the business world, you do shit like that. The SEC are on your ass, and you got to answer for the shit that you did. But in the crypto space, unless you're pulling like an FTX like type of thing, which 99.99% aren't, because it's obvious there's no consequences whatsoever. There's nobody to answer to, so there's shit. They just do it.
Oh yeah, and especially if you're in a country, outside of the US or, the Western world, you can get away with a lot more,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's one thing that we've always said is from the beginning, we doxed ourselves. We have nothing to hide. We're not screwing people over.
Yeah.
The business could fail. We don't see that happening because we're just freaking crazy ass people that we aren't going to let it fail. We're going to do whatever it takes to make it work. But, you've got these guys. I mean, we've all dealt with them, probably hundreds of them over the last few years.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean, Mike and I have outed scam devs probably 5 times in the last 8 to 10 months. Like legitimate scammers, that have scammed people, and then they come back as like, some fake other personality on TG or whatever and want to launch another token. And we've killed launches on a few of these guys because we've been able to make so many connections over the last year with lots of different people in this space, and we've obviously proven ourselves not to be scammers. So, when we can come,
you don't have anything to hide. Like, I'm no longer going to do videos with people and interviews with people who won't show their face and dox themselves. I'm not talking about you guys because I've seen your mugs before and everybody knows what you guys look like. But I'm talking about, people who are like newer projects who come on here, and I'll talk to them beforehand, like, hey, let's do this on camera. Oh, no, I prefer not to show my face. Be like, what the fuck are you hiding? If you're proud of your project, you're going to put your face behind it. Like, I'm not messing with those people anymore.
Yeah, well, and it's not worth it for you. I mean, you've got to worry about your integrity and your character and obviously the future of what you're doing. And, you don't want to be promoting these clowns that are, going out and screwing people over. I mean, that's bad for your business, right?
It is. It really truly is. And that's something that kind of made me take a step back and say, what am I doing here? Honestly, I'm not just going to be in this just to make a quick buck. I want to, be involved with, real projects and, real shit and people who are not going to, take advantage of people. So, yeah, that's kind of what got me out of it for like the last 8 months or so. I think the other day I did a video for, about meme coins, and that was the first one that I'd really done in about like 8 months or so. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to, get back in it and, build my network back up with, legit guys like, you guys.
Yeah, that's good.
But thank you guys. Thank you. I think we're at about the 45-minute mark. We covered a lot of ground today. Thank you, Mike and Chris. And Marty Bird dipped out a little bit ago. I'm sure he's really busy, but I'm excited what you guys, have coming up. And, once everything kind of launches, I definitely like to have you guys back on and just get everything cranking once everything's, available, to the public and, to, try to get some people to find out about this as much as possible.
Absolutely, Mike. Yeah, we appreciate it, man. And glad to see you back and doing what you do, man. And we really appreciate the time, and we'll definitely come back. We'll have some updates with the token, and we'll have some updates on the gaming side. So we'll keep you busy, brother.
Sounds good. Have a great one, guys, and make sure you check out StreamYard. This isn't a promotion for StreamYard. I've never taken a penny from them. I wish they'd give me a free subscription, but no, StreamYard is pretty cool though. You guys will definitely like it for like these type of meetings and just meeting with different people.
Absolutely, Mike. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that tonight, man. So yeah.
Awesome,
Great.
guys.
Great hanging
I'll get this video. Transmitted and stuff, and I'll get it on my website, and then you guys, can put it in your group and try to get some people to watch it. That would be cool. I definitely need to get some eyes back on the channel.
Absolutely, brother. We'll do.
All right, guys. Sounds good. Thank you for coming on again.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Mike.
you.
Have a good night, man.
All right, take care, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too, brother.